Are you stuck in your own victim mentality, your victim mindset, where everything's against you? You want to achieve things in your life, but you can't because this happened and that's happened and it's out of your control. Nothing you do seems to work. Everything's against you. You just can't get to where you need to go without getting some help to do things for you. Well, you're not alone. I've been in that situation a lot, but what I'd like to explain today is there is a way out of that victim mentality that will help you actually achieve and get results that you are looking for. But to do that, I need to explain what's called the drama triangle. So being in that victim mindset is part of the drama triangle. So it's only one part of the triangle. You've got 3 points. That point is the victim. So the victim is, I'm not okay, but you're okay. So therefore, I can't help myself. Someone else has to help myself. One of the other corners is what is called the rescuer. Now, the rescuer wants to help the victim. They want to help the victim. They get a sense of achievement out of helping the victim. But that comes at a cost. And that cost is that they're all really there for you. They love you. They really love helping you up until the point you stop doing what they are telling you to do. So they might look like a person that's coming to help you that you haven't asked to help, but they might just start trying to help people left and right because that's where they get their sense of purpose. They might not know that's what's happening, but they're very much there. So a victim looks for a rescuer, and the rescuer is happy to help as long as you are following what they are prescribing. And then the flip side of that, the other point, is the persecutor. Now, the persecutor keeps you down as a victim, wants you to stay as the victim. You're not good enough. I'm great, but you're not good enough. And you've all seen those in your life, those types of people. And what's interesting is as the victim, when you're in that mindset, while you might be wanting or thinking you want a rescuer over here, you're actually attracting the persecutor who wants to keep you as the victim. And basically, between those 3 archetypes, there's what's called polarity. So as long as there's polarity, these things will exist. Now, it's interesting because it's easy to view this as external sources. So, for instance, you might have a coach or a therapist who is in that rescuer mode. So they're helping you through your problems, but they're not helping you learn how to solve your problems or to internalize your issues and giving you the resources that you need to pull yourself out of where you're at and get the results that you want. So as a rescuer, it can be in their best interest to keep you in that role. So an easy example is if you've been suffering for depression for years and you've been going to therapy for 10 to 15 years and you're not getting a result. Well, you're still stuck in that victim state. The rescuer is still rescuing, but they are not helping you get out of that. And that might be subconscious, or it might be that they need you in that role so they can continue to be your therapist and guide you. So it's fascinating when you sort of think about it in those regards. And it can be frustrating as oh, bloody hell, to be fair, because if a therapist or a coach is meant to be helping you, but they're keeping you in that state, I don't see that as help. I see that as keeping you in that victim mentality, which is not ideal. And then you get obviously the persecutors who just keep you down there because it suits their ego to do that. Now, this can also happen internally, though. So when I sort of look at myself and how I was with this victim mentality, I'd be looking for ways, absolutely looking for ways to get out of it. So I'd try and become my rescuer, try and find the resources that I needed, and I'd start doing them. But of course, your self-doubt and things start to creep in. So, if you feel good about yourself when you start doing those things, but if you stop doing them, then you stop loving yourself. You say, oh, you're not doing what I prescribed. You're not following that resource. I don't love you anymore. And the persecutor jumps in at that point. You're worthless. You're useless. I told you you couldn't do this. And you're as the victim. Oh yes, that's right. I'm useless. I can't do this. It's all against me. So that's what I noticed in my own situation, and it may resonate with you that that's sort of things that you do. So it can be an internal drama triangle, or it can be an external drama triangle that you're being kept in. Now, there is a way to step out of that, to step out of those three architectural roles that will benefit you greatly and also help you seek the therapist or coaches that will actually help you get to your results without keeping you in the victim place. And that's to change from being a victim to being vulnerable. Now, they're two very similar words, and you might think they're the same, but they're poles apart. As I said, the victim is very external based. It's very blame, and very everything's against me. I can't possibly get out without someone helping me out and doing the things for me. But when you're vulnerable, what you're doing is you're actually looking inside yourself, and you start to identify and recognize that things have happened to you that have caused trauma. You might have gotten beatings as a kid, or been screamed at for doing things. But that's created some behaviors, some deep-seated fears. That's how it was for me. I have a major fear of conflict I'm working through, and that fear of conflict has stopped me doing a lot of things because it was such ingrained, or so ingrained in my head, that I would think little things that were just normal everyday things, like picking up the phone and calling someone, was going to be an annoyance to that person, which would make them angry at me, which would cause conflict. And it's just a snowball effect. None of it's actually true. It's just what's happening in my head through the processes that I've learned over the years. And it made me become a people pleaser. So I can't put my opinions forward because that might annoy someone. So you see the same path I'm running down, and you may recognize that as well. And then that formed habits to help me deal with it. I drank a lot of alcohol. So that was my way to deal with it. And I put masks on so I could hide myself and hide my emotions. But that was my victim side. The vulnerable side, again, so I understand that process. I understand that I've had those things, and I understand I've got fears, and I've got blocks, and I've got addictions out of it. But I make myself aware of that, and I'm aware that I have to make the change. I've got to decide to make a change. I've got to be vulnerable, to seek help in a way that is congruent with what I want. So whether that's myself first, I seek help from myself, I seek compassion from myself, understanding, and I seek the knowledge and the teachings to help me use tools to get myself out of that situation and get the results I want. So I'm not looking for someone to do it for me. I understand I'm on this journey. It's my path. It's my responsibility to take myself from A to B and get myself out of that rut. And once I did that, I was way more open to the resources that are helping me. And that's what I want for you as well. So changing victim to vulnerability is the very first step, and that's something you decide to do. And then you can start that journey and that path. In terms of the rescuer, so to identify a rescuer or change the rescuer is be resourceful. So being resourceful is finding those tools and those mechanisms, those techniques that you can use to get yourself out of those situations. And that's from an internal perspective. From an external perspective, what you're looking for when you're talking about getting a coach to help you, or a therapist, is that coach or therapist should be giving you resources, working on techniques to help you make the shift in your mind and body. And that's a key difference. They're not there to keep you in victim. No, they're there to listen to your vulnerabilities, find the resources to give to you to help you move yourself through. And if we look at the persecutor, well, the persecutor, which is judgment, changes to perseverance. It's more persevering. You need to persevere with yourself. You need to have that compassion, but you need to be accountable to the changes that you want. And you need to keep practicing and keep trying. The technique doesn't quite work the first time, give it another go, or find an alternate technique that may be more suited to you. And again, that's internal, but externally, you've got the same thing with a coach or a therapist or someone helping you. Then they need to be perseverant with you, so they need to just hold you accountable to what you said you were going to do. They don't get sucked back into the whole drama, because that can happen. You can end up trying to go back to the drama mentality, into the drama triangle, to the victim mentality. But to persevere is to not judge. It's just to keep you accountable. So that's a mind shift in all those three things in that triangle. And that mind shift will really, really help you. It's helped me. It's what I'm learning. And it's what I'm obviously wanting to teach other people. It's what I'll bring into my own personal coaching as I'm coaching other people through this and getting them the results that they want in their lives. And it's just a critical thing to understand. Simple shifts. Victim to vulnerability. Rescuer to be resourcefulness. Persecutor to perseverance. Those shifts within yourself, or finding the guidance from others, will put you on the path that you need to be on. Now, all of that wrapped up is you've just got to make the decision. You decide. You're the only one who can heal yourself completely. I'll say that again. You are the only one that can heal yourself completely. You just need to make the decision and let the rest flow from there. So thank you for joining me. I'm Wade on this channel, Unmasking Dad. It's my channel to help fathers and anyone really that's requiring some guidance in terms of turning their life around when they feel stuck in a drama, stuck in this drama triangle, stuck being a victim, and becoming vulnerable and authentic. I think those are two key things that you need to be in your life. The world needs more vulnerable and authentic men, leaders, people to help show, lead by example in their families and help their kids learn that these are really important skills to have. So thank you again for joining me today. If you've got any comments on how you now think about the whole victim vulnerability thing, I would really love to hear it down below. Your comments can help other people as well. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.